wanting to invest. Option 184. We see Mr. Feelgood has come in for steady support with that ace draw. $6 for him, the former winner of the Little Brown Jug. Smoken Up at $3.20 now, out from $2.80. Themightyquinn has been backed in from $2.40 to $2. And Auckland Reactor, sentimental favourite for Kiwis, $5.50 is the quote for him. We're going runner by runner now, starting off with the international superstar, that is Mr. Feelgood. Adam, he's won a Little Brown Jug, he's won the INTERDOMINIONs before, and he was also an impressive heat winner.
Jess, it's one of the more incredible stories of INTERDOMINION history, and his major part owner, Kevin Seymour, said at the barrier draw on Sunday, this horse was bought as much as anything else to further internationalise the greatest race in this part of the world, the INTERDOMINION. And boy, hasn't he done that. He's been a part of a few of them now, and of course he's already a winner. It doesn't seem that long ago, but it was back in 2009 on the Gold Coast. At different times, he's looked to be in trouble in his career since then, but to the huge credit of trainer John McCarthy, and that decision to put the hood on him after night one has turned his fortunes around in this series. His second heat and his third heat were both ultra impressive. He's got the barrier draw he needed to be a winning chance. And Kevin Seymour has come out and said to me, there's no way we'll give away the lead from barrier one. We'll go for the all-the-way win. It's a half-mile track. There's no sprint lane. And we think that Smoken Up won't be able to sit outside us and beat us. He's got a wonderful chance. It's really going to come down to whether he and Smoken Up can hold off the booming finishes of, most notably, Themightyquinn, but also to some extent Auckland Reactor.
4 millionaires in the race. He's earned over $3 million himself, and of course he was an American free-for-aller against the best in the world, and his progeny are doing good things in the States now too, Mr. Feelgood. On to Lombo Navigator, who's drawn barrier number 2, and this horse to be driven by Matthew White, so a bit of interest here for the Kiwis, and he's been, you know, pretty good in these heats, Adam, with 2 seconds.
Oh, he certainly has. He was a horse I spotted in the Fremantle Cup, ran a phenomenal race back in mid to late January. I put a big ring around him and said he could be a factor in the INTERDOMINION. He disappointed on night one. Trainer Andrew De Campo just baffled as to why he performed so poorly, but geez, come out since and he's run 2 wonderful races. You know, he sort of went toe-to-toe the other night for a long way with Smoken Up, and they said had it been the final, he wouldn't have surrendered the lead. He's probably going to drop right in behind Mr. Feelgood. If Mr. Feelgood's in front and he's sitting on his back, don't know that he's good enough to win it. I don't know that he's sharp enough to be able to pull out and go bang from that sort of trail, but he's definitely got a place chance, and he's been another shining example of the fact that there is depth in WA harness racing. It's not just all about Themightyquinn over here. He can run a place.
And good luck to Matty White with the drive in the INTERDOMINION Grand Final. On to the first of the Kiwi chances, number 3, Raglan. And news coming out this week, of course, Anthony Butt driving Auckland Reactor throughout the heats, and Darren Hancock will now take the drive on Raglan, with Anthony opting for Auckland Reactor. He's not lost any fans either.
No, that's true. Look, he was unlucky night one, we know. He was dominant. I think one of the best wins of his career on night 2. Maybe it just flattened him a tad, the quick backup on the third night, because even though he did early work, he was just obliterated by Themightyquinn here last Friday night. I think the week between runs will freshen him up nicely. Can he win? I won't say no, because he probably would have won the Victoria Cup if he had have got clear earlier, but it's hard to see him turning the tables after what we saw Themightyquinn do to him last Friday night. Lovely horse, probably a length and a half off the very best of them, and the best at the moment is certainly Themightyquinn. But what a beautiful story. Darren Hancock hasn't driven at Gloucester Park since winning the INTERDOMINION final here on Joe Fess when it was last run. So they've certainly got a good sense of history, haven't they, Tim and Anthony Butt, with Raglan going into the final as far as their driver choice goes. He's a place chance, I think.
The 6-year-old son of Sandra Flying, of course, ran 3rd in the Victoria Cup, as Adam mentioned, and 2nd in the Fremantle Cup. On to number 4 in Crombie. This horse ran 3rd last round of the heats, a former West Australian Derby winner, and also a winner in the first round of heats, Adam.
And he was just brilliant early in the series, and I would just forget all about that run last Friday night. I was absolutely staggered that Chris Lewis handed away the lead on Crombie. I'm told that it might have been the owner's preference to do so. Well, they effectively surrendered the race to Auckland Reactor. We didn't get a true guide on where Crombie is at. I like what I've seen of him early in the series, and you just can't draw any conclusion out of his run last Friday night. He's a lovely horse on the up. He's probably a year away experience-wise from beating the very best, but he's another one who could certainly run a place with the right sort of luck. I've been a fan of his for a couple of months now, and I think he's gone to another level in this series. Can he beat Themightyquinn and others? I doubt it, but he could run a place.
Moving on to race horse number 5, it is Mysta Magical Mach, as he's known in Australia. Of course, started his career with Kevin Fairburn here, a co-breeder as Magical Mach. A 7-year-old gelding now. Morgan Woodley will take the drive. He's also placed in the last 2 round of heats. And Adam, a former winner of the West Australian Pacing Cup back in 2009 at Group 1 level.
And a real credit to a remarkable trainer over here called Tony Svilicic, who has this ability to resurrect horses after serious injuries. Of course, he didn't get Has the Answers into the final, Tony, but he has got Mr. Magical Mach there. He's a war horse. He has got better with every run through the series. And, gee, when you go back and look at the replay, if we're saying that Smoken Up's one of the major chances in the final, I think he went as good as Smoken Up did last Friday night. The one thing we know is Smoken Up will rise to the occasion. Can Mr. Magical Mach do it? I think he's going to struggle from the draw. It's likely that he'll try and work forward from that barrier and maybe try and get the 1-1 trail when Smoken Up eventually gets outside of Mr. Feelgood. In that position, he might have an outside place chance, but it's a big test for the horse they call Triple M, Mr. Magical Mach.
On to the second of the big millionaire paces. It is Smoken Up, unbeaten in the series. Adam, of course, we go back to last year. There was a lot of publicity about the INTERDOMINION final. He was first across the line. He lost the race in the room. John Justice, we mentioned earlier on, still getting to know this horse. He's driven him 5 times now. Your thoughts on him in the series overall?
Jess, you know very well the huge admiration I've got for this horse. I've followed his career all of the way through being a Victorian, and he is up there with the most remarkable harness horses we've seen in this part of the world. I really think he's going to struggle to win this final, and it's hard for me to say that. I think on this tight track, as much as he's getting around the track okay, and he's not really lugging much, he's not getting the chance on the short straights to assert and intimidate as he does on the bigger tracks at Melton and Menangle. We know he's by far at his best at Menangle. This is a polar opposite Gloucester Park here to Menangle, and I'm really worried about him. I don't think he can win if he's got to sit outside Mr. Feelgood, and I don't see why Mr. Feelgood would surrender the lead. So I think he's really up against it. I would never say he can't win Smoken Up because he's done so many incredible things in his career, but if ever he's had the Mount Everest to climb, I think it's on Friday night. I think this is by far the biggest challenge of his career.
Yeah, well, certainly will be a challenge with such a tight track, as you mentioned, and the 9 across the front row. But Smoken Up, good luck to the Connections. Of course, they've had a hard year, and Lance still recovering from that horrific smash in December. So good luck to the Connections of Smoken Up. And, of course, he started his career here with the Butchers in the north. On to number 7 in the local hero, I'm Themightyquinn. Gary Hall Senior and Gary Hall Junior combining. Started his career here with Peter Baggery in New Zealand by Washington VC out of Love Sign. Unbeaten in the series so far, and reading reports this week, Adam, Gary Hall Senior stating he has never had this horse better than he is right now.
I've never seen a more content team than Gary Hall Senior and Junior after last Friday night. They had no need to cut him loose down the back straight. He could have just raced alongside Raglan and said goodbye whenever he wanted. That, to me, was an indication where this horse is at. They wanted to give him a stirring hit out before the final. He got that last Friday night. Ridiculously easy winning on nights 1 and 2. Utterly dominant, a crushing display here last Friday night. Yes, it's going to be a lot harder, and he hasn't had to face the likes of Auckland Reactor and Smoken Up so far in this series. The bar is raised for the final. It'll be by far the most gruelling race that he's been in. If there was one query on him through the heats, it's the fact that pretty much every night he's been in the slowest heat. And I'm not saying that's a negative, but what it's done is it hasn't tested him as far as to see whether he can still look as brilliant at the finish coming off track record-like pace as he has been coming off slow pace so far. I don't think it'll be an issue. I think the biggest thing in his favour is, like no other horse in this series, Jess, he actually goes faster round the corners than the others do. That electrifying speed of his is a weapon that no other horse has in the final. He is very clearly the one to beat, and that $2.40, whoever snapped that up in New Zealand has shopped very, very well earlier in the week.
It's almost like he's forged his own path around the track, the way people have mentioned to me he rails around there like a greyhound. So I'm the Themightyquinn, the record crowd expected to cheer him home. Moving on to horse number 8, it is Can Return Fire. And this horse here started out its career in New Zealand as Return Fire for Frank Cooney. Winner of the 2009 Pinjarra Cup, but he's drawn out in the car park here, Adam.
Jess, he's got no chance in the final, but there is a nice story behind it, and that's the fact that Greg Bond, who had an unthinkable and surely record-breaking 9 of the 36 runners in the qualifying heats, does have a finalist. He's not up to this class. Maybe he might have been a sneaky place chance from a better draw, but he's drawn out wide. Well done, Bondy, to get one in the final. You won't be winning it this year, but I think it's a step in the right direction for WA's dominant trainer at the moment, Greg Bond. He's no factor in the final, Can Return Fire.
Who's still won 18 races, and I'm sure the connections will just be stoked, as Adam mentioned, to be in an INTERDOMINION grand final. Some of us can only dream of having a horse that good. On to the second of the New Zealand chances. It is Auckland Reactor, and he has drawn the absolute car park. He's drawn barrier 9, the extreme outside, just the front row here for the INTERDOMINION final. Adam, this horse has had such a checkered career, from brilliance to dismay, I guess, for connections. There were talks that he wasn't even going to go to Perth, and now Anthony Butt has thought enough of him to jump off Raglan and sit in behind Auckland Reactor. This will be a very important win for him.
Yeah, no question about it. A horse that's had, you know, so many different chapters in his career. This could be the one that elevates him to greatness. He's not there at the moment. He's got potential greatness as far as ability goes, and gee, full credit to the way that he looks over here. This is, I haven't seen a lot of him throughout his career, but I did see him in Melbourne. He's absolutely blossomed in the hot temperatures over here, and a lot of people thought that would be a negative for him. He looks sensational. He's got better as the series has gone on. What's the query? Well, the query is that on all 3 nights, he's basically been presented with the race. And Anthony Butt owned the race to claim it last week, so I don't want to take too much away from it, but I'm not sure he's proved a whole lot through this series. We know he's a really good horse, and he's shown that, but has he shown that he's great? Has he shown me through the heats that he can beat I'm the Themightyquinn? Has he shown me that he can win from the extreme outside draw in the final? I don't think so. The dilemma that Anthony Butt's got, he'll be back in the field with I'm the Themightyquinn. Does he make his move early? If he does, Quinny hops on his back for the ride home. And if he waits and tries to get the ride home on Quinny, I don't think Auckland Reactor would be straight out sharp and fast enough to be able to run down Quinny in the last 800-900 metres of a race. It's going to be a tactical battle between those two back in the field, but I think the draw's made it very, very hard for him. I can't see how he can beat home I'm the Themightyquinn on the barrier draws.
Good luck to connections, and yeah, it certainly will be another chapter to his story, Auckland Reactor, who's already had a stint at stud as well. Adam, as we head to you for your top chances, I know the locals are right in behind the Themightyquinn, and of course the Halls will be looking to get back after running second, but with the Falcon Strike last time it was over there.
Yes, beaten the narrowest of margins by Joe Fess. A lot of people trackside thought that he might have won the Falcon Strike, but I think they will get revenge. I'm always reluctant to make the best bet of the night in a feature race, but I'm going to go that way with I'm the Themightyquinn. I think this is his series. The track is a huge advantage for him. I think he's a standout. I think he's racing by far better than any horse in the series. The wide draw suits him. He'll just be too fast for these horses in the last lap. I'm the Themightyquinn, clearly on top from Mysta Feelgood, Smoken Up, and I've popped Auckland Reactor in for 4th.
Adam, thank